Tommy reluctantly gives his new favorite toy that his father made for him, Boppo, a punching bag clown, to Chuckie, who is initially obsessed with it. When Angelica visits Chuckie and brings his attention to that Boppo resembles a clown, his greatest fear of all, Chuckie wants to give it back to Tommy. Angelica advises Chuckie not to do this because that would make him a giver-backer, and Tommy would be upset if Chuckie gave back the gift. Chuckie still wants to get rid of Boppo on account of his fear of clowns, so Angelica finds a way to deflate Boppo, seemingly ruining the toy. At first, Chuckie is relieved that Boppo is gone, begins to feel guilty that he broke Tommy's favorite toy, so he hides it in his toy box. Meanwhile, Tommy misses Boppo and considers asking Chuckie to give it back. Phil and Lowell discourage this because they feel this would make Tommy a taker-backer and it would be wrong for Tommy to take back a gift he gave to his best friend. Both friends are worried about hurting each other's feelings and decide not to say anything about Boppo. However, when Tommy visits Chuckie, he timidly asks where Boppo is, and Chuckie confesses he's afraid of Boppo and wants to give him back to Tommy. Tommy is happy to hear this and admits to Chuckie that he wanted Boppo back in the first place. Chuckie then sadly tells Tommy that he broke Boppo the clown out of fear, shows him the deflated toy. Tommy forgives Chuckie, but still feels sad that Boppo is broken. Just then, Stu walks into Chuckie's room, notices that Boppo has been deflated, and fixes it for Tommy to play with once more. Tommy and Chuckie are glad that they told each other the truth about how they felt instead of hiding their feelings, and happily continue to play with Phil and Lil. As the babies leave, Chuckie places a blanket on Boppo's head. The rugrats are at the park, playing in the sandbox. After Angelica pours sand on Chuckie's head, she and the babies find a nickel, which makes them all very excited. At first, Tommy and Angelica argue about who keeps the nickel, till Chuckie says they should all own it. Angelica says that there might be more nickels under the sand, just waiting for kids to find. Phil and Lowell agree, saying that if Chuckie could find one nickel, then maybe there are more. Chuckie asks them why they need any nickels, and they have everything they want anyway. Angelica, Phil, and Lil say that with the nickels, they can have more of everything. As they say this, their eyes sparkle greedily. Chuckie immediately says how much he doesn't like where this is heading, but Tommy assures him that everything is fine, so they will share. Angelica agrees, but secretly still wants the one nickel for herself, so she hastily tells him to give her the nickel so that she can hide it. Phil and Lil object, saying the nickel should be somewhere where they can all see it. Angelica then says if they don't hide it, then anyone could take it. Tommy decides to hide the nickel under a bucket, where only they will know where it is, and they set to work, each splitting up with Tommy and Chuckie on one side of the sandbox, Phil and Lil on another, and Angelica by herself on the last one. Phil and Lil argue about where they are digging, and Chuckie tells Tommy that he now regrets finding the nickel, since they could be having fun instead of digging. Tommy insists they keep digging because when they find the nickels, they will have fun. Meanwhile, Angelica starts getting paranoid when she hears the babies talking to each other and confers with Cynthia, whom she was digging with. The babies may be after riches for themselves, and she doesn't trust them. Phil suggests that they see if their nickel is still there. Phil, however, is afraid of Angelica getting mad, but he assures her that just a look and nothing won't touch her. As they're looking, Big Kid tries to look, but is luckily scared off by Angelica, who tells him there is a baby stool under the bucket. Afterwards, Angelica hides the nickel under the sand with an X, and convinces Phil and Lil they should leave Tommy and Chuckie out of what they find. Tommy and Chuckie are still digging. Chuckie is starting to get hot and tired. Tommy persuades Chuckie to keep going. Angelica, however, is planning to get the nickels for herself and will only share them with Cynthia. Phil asks Phil if they should tell Tommy and Chuckie about Angelica's plan, but Phil gets the same paranoia as Angelica, and insists that Tommy and Chuckie can't be trusted. Tommy and Chuckie don't find any nickels, although they do find a $100 bill, a gold watch, and a gold ring, which Tommy dismisses as old junk, not understanding how valuable they are. And Chuckie has had enough, saying there aren't any nickels, and Angelica made the whole thing up. Tommy then sees the bucket had been turned over and the nickel is gone. Tommy's upset, but Chuckie insists that it's only one nickel. Tommy, however, insists that they find Angelica to solve their problem. Angelica makes Tommy and Chuckie believe that Phil and Lil took it and that any nickels they find they bring straight to her without telling the twins. Tommy agrees, but Chuckie is now wishing that he had never found the nickel in the first place. Angelica continues to gloat that the nickels will be all hers and breaks her promise to Cynthia of sharing them with her earlier. After seeing Tommy and Chuckie talking with Angelica, Phil and Lil realize that they may have dug up some nickels but haven't told them. Tommy continues to dig, but Chuckie finally puts his foot down, saying that he's glad the nickel is gone and that finding it in the first place has turned them all into greedy, distrusting monsters. Not convinced, Tommy accuses Chuckie of making him stop so he can gather all the riches for himself, much to Chuckie's shock. Phil will confront Tommy about what has happened, and they are shocked when Tommy accuses them of stealing the nickel. Finally realize that Angelica had lied to them the whole time. Even more paranoid and now greedy, Angelica still thinks the babies are keeping all the nickels for themselves, and marches up to them, demanding all the nickels at once, not convinced they haven't found any and are just jealous of being the oldest. Tommy confronts Angelica about the missing nickel and demands it back. Angelica takes it into place, but the X is gone. Angelica frantically tries to digs to try to find it, and so do the others except for Chuckie, who starts laughing hysterically. When the others ask what's so funny, Chuckie explains that after all the trouble they went through to find more nickels, Wing came along and took the only one they had in the first place. Now they don't even have the one they started with. Tommy and the twins start to see the funny side of it and laugh too soon. All four are laughing themselves silly. While they are laughing their heads off, Angelica tells them that she will keep digging and find the missing nickel and even more, screaming that she will be rich. But the babies are all laughing so loudly that they can't hear Angelica screaming. The babies walk away still laughing. Chuckie is glad that his friends are all back to normal again. Tommy agrees with Chuckie that his friends are all back. Tommy agrees with Chuckie that it was wrong of them to make such a big deal out of one nickel. Chuckie then asks what they want to do now. Phil suggests they play it in the sand, but Phil objects as he points out that Angelica's nickel obsession will spoil it. Phil then suggests they play on the slide, so they leave behind Angelica, who's still digging in the sandbox and laughing maniacally to herself. The missing nickel is seen a few yards away from her, which the wind blows under the sand, hiding it once again.